James three, and it's good! At the buzzer! Damian Lillard! Are you kidding me? 10, that's his youth right there.
Lamelo trying to make up for it. Fires to the end zone. Touchdown! Alabama wins!
Cortez delivers. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone! Gibby, meet Freddie. Game 1 of the World Series.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Just Work Sports Radio. So we have a lot to go over today. It is our episode 4, I want to say. Today's more of a weekly recap. I did a NBA draft episode on Monday that came out. Just more of a everything sports recap, honestly. I have a lot to go over. But for our first topic today, we're going to talk about Brendan Sorsby. And a lot of people don't know him if you're not familiar with college football. He's a good player. You know, he's a quarterback, was at Cincinnati last year. Was transferring to Texas Tech this year, with lots of money coming in from Texas Tech. First of all, let's talk about that for a second. Lots of money coming in from Texas Tech. They have so much money, so much being invested to them by like their boosters. One of the guys who runs like the big boosting program for them is the oil, like major oil, like CEO company, like owner. I don't know what it's called, but he's huge out there. But anyways, Brendan Sorsby transferred to Texas Tech, and unfortunately that transfer is not going to go through. He's not going to be able to play this year. He's ruled ineligible because of a gambling scam. Gambling problem came out. They investigated him. He was placing bets on thousands of college sports. Like, he betting on his own sport, bet like up to $90,000 on 40 wagers when he was on the Indiana football team at one point. Just ugly stuff, honestly, ugly stuff. Not something you want to do, and not something you risk your career over. I really don't think that's just a good idea. But the main thing is, he was applying to go in the supplemental draft that they have every few years, which is like a draft they hold for the end of the year rookies who didn't make it or stuff like that, who come in, and it only happens every so often. It doesn't happen every year, but I'm sorry, I need to drink that. The NFL denied the supplemental draft for this player because he was the only player that was trying to join through that. And with the supplemental draft, he would have been able to play this year. He would have been eligible for the NFL this year. A team would have used a second to third round pick. There was some rumors about the Jets, but it's not going to go through. And again, the biggest thing to me is you don't bet on your own sport. That's just a thing. That's been like the whole NBA. They had lots of like problems this year. There's going to be more of this stuff. There's going to be a ton more of this stuff. It's not surprising to me. It really isn't. It just blows my mind. Why would you bet on your own sport? I have no problem. Gamble. Spend money at your own risk, But why on your own sport that you're a player? Like, you are a Division I athlete. This is the highest level for college sports. Why ruin that and why risk that? It doesn't make sense to me. But anyways, he's not going to be in the draft. He's going to have to come next year, the 2027 NFL draft. It makes sense. The NFL is trying to move away from stuff like that. They're trying to get rid of the ugly accusations against them. They don't allow that stuff, and they've been the no fun league for a while. This isn't surprising. They've been that. But his best shot is a 2027 NFL draft, and he'll most likely get picked. We've seen players skip a year, Jamar Chase at LSU, and come out, but he's nothing like Jamar Chase, but just saying, just a name to throw out there. We had some OTAs roundup from this week. Officially, A.J. Brown, a couple weeks ago, is a Patriot. I don't know. I'm torn because as a Titans fan, I loved A.J. Brown, but it doesn't make sense to me. To go to the Eagles from the Patriots, I get you have a mix-up. You have problems with their offensive coordinator. You have problems with how they run their offense, but the Patriots aren't a better team than the Eagles. It doesn't really make sense. Whatever. But we have a few more things. The Rams brought in a huge player in Myles Garrett. We all saw that a couple weeks ago. Crazy. The Rams they just keep getting better every year. And the rich get richer. It's insane. It's genuine insane. I'm happy for them. Happy for the Rams. A few things about the Titans came out. The Carnell Tate, Cam Ward connection is looking good. It's looking good. Too many expectations are put on rookies. I've said this before, coming into these professional leagues. They put too much expectations on them, and that's not fair. I don't expect a 1,300 yard season. I don't. That's just not. It's not realistic. It's not. He's going to be a great player. I'm really excited for him. I can't wait. I genuinely can't wait. I was at a card show a month ago, I want to say. A couple months ago now. There was a signed Carnell Tate rookie card, college card, whatever it was. And I'm just sick I missed out on it. I don't know what the price was. I just walked by it, but I'm I didn't think we'd pick him at 4, but I'm excited. I'm really excited to get a wide receiver 1 out there, and he looks good in the OTAs tape. I mean, mind you, he's playing the Titans. We don't have, we'll see what the cornerback depth is going against, but he looks good. He genuinely looks good out there. I'm excited. I can't wait. Like, I've waited so long for an actual receiver and who's not, like, washed up. I know the whole washed, they get the washed receivers every time, but I'm so excited. He's going to be a stud. Like, we finally get an Ohio State receiver, and that's just amazing. Like, he's going to be so good. Just helping Cam Ward develop, and they're both going to grow at the same time with Brian Dable coming in from the Giants. We've seen what he does with teams, with quarterbacks, especially Josh Allen. Like, seriously. Cam Ward's not Josh Allen, obviously, but, he's that level. He has that level of talent across the field and across the board, honestly. I'm excited for Titans. They're a good team, solid building. I like it. Mike Borgo, our GM, doing a great job. Great job from the former GM, who was, the former GMs who were there. Yeah, there's a lot of hands in that pot. But anyways, we're going to move on to our big stories of today, and that is the NBA draft. Wow. Talk about a great draft. Talk about how loaded that was for a second. The players who went from 1 to 22, seriously, so much talent, so much youth, and a little bit of old players mixed in, but, I'm excited. I genuinely can't wait. Man. So, we're going to start off with A.J. Devonta going to the Wizards. I predicted this. It wasn't a crazy prediction because everyone expected this. Going to be a star out in Washington. They got their guy. And I think they're a winner of this draft strictly because of him. Genuinely because of him. Yes, the Trae Young option they picked up declined. He declined it. Player option. Signed a $212 million deal for 4 years. I would have liked it to be 1 to 2 years just to see, feel him out a little bit. I think he can hinder the development of the bunch of young talent they have. But I see it going both ways. Trae Young's going to help out a lot. And a lot of people overlook how good of a passer he is. I know the shots and is he a winning player? I don't know. We don't know that, but I like him. I like him a lot for that team. He fits perfectly in what they're trying to build out there in Washington. And he's going to be, they're going to be a good team. They're going to be a sneaky good team. If Anthony Davis can stay healthy, that's a very big if, but they're going to be a very solid young team. The starting 5 is Trae at the 1, Trae Young at the 1. I'd say Trey Johnson / Keyshawn George, the 2. You put AJ at 3, Sarr at the 4, Davis at the 5. It's a solid team. They have the depth too. Bub Carrington coming off the bench. Keyshawn George, Trey, however you want to, Trey Johnson I'm referring to, however you want to flip it. But that team is good, and they're going to be good for a long time. A lot of people are overlooking them because of Washington, but I think that the tide, I'm going to get more into this when I do this draft thing. More of a tide is changing in the NBA where a lot of young and teams who we beat up on in the media and who they're trash, they don't have anything, they've been bad for so long. They're slowly building. A lot of bad teams got good picks this year. They didn't overthink it. I like it. It's good for the NBA. But number 2, Darren Peterson to the Jazz. That's a superstar. That's a great pick for them. I don't know how he fits right now, but they're on paper. They have one of the best young teams, along with the Wizards. We cannot forget them. But I think they can make the playoffs. Absolutely, they can take that Portland, that Phoenix Suns spot. They can take those spots. Absolutely, that. On paper, they're more talented than the Suns. Keontae George, Darren, or if you want to put Darren off the bench with Ace Bailey, Markkanen, Jaren Jackson, Kessler if he stays. It's a sneaky young team too. I'm excited for the Jazz. There was reports, he doesn't want to be there. Danny Ainge has a history of picking players who didn't want to be there. Ace Bailey didn't want to be there. He wanted to be in, I don't even know where he wanted to go. Washington maybe? They didn't pick him. He wanted to go there. Reports that Danny Ainge has this reputation of picking players no matter what. And I respect that because his talent, Peterson's talent is insane. Genuinely insane. Highest ceiling for me in this draft, personally. A lot of the work ethic, the injury concerns, I get it, I hear it, but I still think Darren Peterson's going to be a star in this league, and I think they got a good one. And I think we're going to look into come next year, this time, they're going to be like, wow, he scored 20 points, and nobody's going to be surprised. I don't think. You shouldn't be surprised. There's no reason to be surprised. He's going to be good, really good. Number 3 here, we have Cameron Boozer. Another winner. The Grizzlies did a great job. Another winner of this draft for me. I love Cameron Boozer. Great player, great guy. Just a great person, And I think Carlos Boozer did a great job raising him and his sons. They did a great job. But more about the Grizzlies. They have a great, talented young team. A lot of these the top 4 here have some good cores, like a good, solid young cores. You have Karen Boozer, you have Wells, you have Coward, you have Edie. Does Ja stay? I don't know. But if Ja does stay, that team is scary. That team is scary. And not in a, if Ja stays and gets rid of the off-the-court antics, that type of stuff, he'll be fine. They'll be fine. If he leaves, whatever, they're still fine. But they're going to get a haul for him, no matter what. We've seen what all these things are going for. And the breaking news this morning, I don't know what time it was around. I was working. But the breaking news this morning was Lamelo Ball got traded to the Timberwolves. I love it. For the Hornets. Timberwolves, I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know. It's more of a, I don't like the Lamelo Ball in a basketball, like far basketball standpoint. He's not a winner. He's not going to win. He's not proven anything to be a winner. And he's very unserious. Like you can tell this year when Charles Lee was coaching the Hornets, he didn't want to coach him, and I understand that. No serious coach who wants to keep winning and build a young culture is not building around LaMelo Ball. They're not. And I see the backcourt duo. I see the vision that the Timberwolves are trying to see, but I don't fully see them getting to the finals. I could be wrong. The cool thing about these type of things, you can always be wrong or right. You never know. Whatever it is. Ant took him to the conference finals back to back. He has that superstar talent. Now he has another one with him. Improves their backcourt. Yes, he needed a backcourt mate. He took Mike Conley and them to the finals. Come on. It improves them, but it's not as big as everyone's trying to make it seem. I don't think he drastically improves them. No. And for what he went for, a few pick swaps, Naz Reid, Josh Green back the other way to Minnesota, it doesn't make sense to me. Whatever. But LaMelo Ball, unless proven otherwise this year and in the next few years, he's not a winner. He's not going to change drastically. He's not going to change his attitude on the floor. None of that's going to come into effect. So we'll see. I don't believe in it. But anyways, back to our draft recap. I just had to do some breaking news stuff, not really breaking anymore because, I was busy, but whatever. So the Bulls at number 4 selected Caleb Wilson. I mean, seriously, they nailed this draft. They got Daniel Swain at 16, I want to say it was. And that's just, or 15, I believe it was. And he was it was a great draft for them. Lots of young, more of a running gun offense. I think they're going to up and down that floor. Giddy, Boozy Vert as we call him. They move off Vucevic, I think, this year. Nick Claxton. I think that team's going to be solid out of these. I don't think they're a playoff team yet. I think they're going to be fun to watch, though. Lots of fun. Caleb Wilson's going to be a superstar. Maybe not a superstar. He's going to be good. I think I'm labeling too many of them superstars, in my opinion. But good. Very good at a very high level. Defends at a very, very high level. And that the bounce off, up and down the floor. And just the pure explosiveness that he carries with him throughout the whole court, back up and down. Like I just said, it's amazing. Going to be a great player. And I think what stood out to me was he was listen, they had a little segment after the draft after he was drafted and after Cameron Boozer were drafted because they were AAU teammates coming up through the grassroots. They played together, both from South Florida, I believe. Or no, maybe not. I think Wilson's from Georgia, but still very close together. They were asking, what do you think the biggest part of your game people overlook? His passing, his playmaking, and his jump shot. His shot is good. It looks good. And I think it's harder to manipulate and fix someone's jump shot who's broken. If it looks ugly, oh yeah, he shoots it, that's not going in. It's not going in. But Caleb Wilson doesn't have that problem. He has a great jump shot. And I think it improves in the next level. I think once he gets to more comfortable and more shooting with an NBA development, I think he's going to be good. I think they're going to be a great team. We'll move on, though, to number 5. The Los Angeles Clippers selected Keaton Wagler. Good pick. I'm not as high as everybody else has him. There's he's the SGA light. No, you can't do that because nobody knew what SGA looked like coming out of college at Kentucky. He didn't look like that. And Wagler's good, though. Wagler's going to be good. He's more of a 1 or 2 to 1, I would say. More of a 2. Can be a secondary ball handler, and I think he's going to fit in perfectly with Garland. But does he instantly impact? I don't think so. It's more of it's not a knock to him or anything, but we haven't seen it yet. You haven't seen a lot of these players because they're just coming in. But I don't think he has that explosiveness that gets him around these players, but he's going to be good. And I think he solidified himself as a top player when he dropped 46 versus Purdue. Carried that team to the Final Four in Illinois. Carried that team. They had a good team, yes, but he was their best player by far. And I'm excited for him. I'm rooting for him. He has a great story. Great story. Not unranked, but not even top 150. Kansas City kid, didn't get the offers he wanted, coming out, go to Illinois, and to blow up this year. We don't see that a lot. Honestly, we don't. So I'm excited for him, rooting for him. And I think that's a good pickup for the Clippers. We'll see how good he gets. Not the SGA light. I don't like that. I don't like that comparison. They say the same thing with LeBaron and Phylon. I don't. Let's just give it time. It's early. I know people put their the predictions or outcome or predictions for players very high. That's not fair to the players. It's not fair to it's not fair to us, the media. What are you really saying here? Kevin Garnett is Caleb Wilson. No, he's not. So a Hall of Famer is Caleb Wilson coming out of college? No. If he was a Hall of Famer, they would have won, I don't know, more than the games they did. They weren't good, North Carolina. They weren't good. Oh, yeah, he got hurt, whatever. He's not. But he's not a Hall of Famer. He's not coming out going to be a Hall of Famer. He can get to that level, absolutely. But not there yet. At number 6, we had Michael Brown to the Brooklyn Nets. I like this pick. I think a lot of people are scared of Michael Brown and his back issues. Yeah, he's 19 years old with back issues. Stuff like this happens. They're high-level athletes. People have to understand. They work every day. Lots of shots up, lots of up and down, lots of explosive work on their bodies. It's going to happen. Stuff like that's going to happen. Yeah, a back injury at very young is very scary. Saw the same thing with Michael Porter coming out a couple years ago. He was supposed to be a top 5 pick. Fell a little bit, but if he can get that under control, I think Michael Brown's going to be good. I think the Nets are going to be good in a sense, but not. It's the Nets. Julius Randle's there now. I don't really understand that point, but if you're just trying to look bad again and trying to tank again next year, I think that was the good move, I guess, for them. But Michael Brown's going to be good. Lots of shooting, lots of playmaking, and I think his athleticism, like I said a couple days ago, it is sneaky. It's a very sneaky tactic he has. Very sneaky athlete, and he creates shots for himself. And I think that is a great skill to have coming into the league. And I think it's gonna elevate his game, and it's gonna translate to the next level. Create his own shot, can shoot from anywhere. You have to guard him at half court. Honestly, that kid can shoot. But with the number 7th pick, I predicted this. Honestly, I think I flipped Boozer Peterson in my mock draft episode. I think I had him to the Jazz. Probably not the right idea, but I was just trying to give my boy a little PR boost, but it didn't work clearly. My range is not there yet, but we'll get there one day. I had Wagler to the Nets, and I think it was Michael Brown to the Clippers. I think they did a great job. There was a lot of smoke about, we want Acuff at 5. He drops to number 7. I'm excited for that. Couldn't be more excited. I think the Sacramento Kings did a great job. I think they got what they wanted. I think Acuff wants to be here, and that's a big thing for players in Sacramento. Not a lot of people want to be here, and again, understandable. It's the Sacramento Kings we're talking about, but it's exciting. He's going to be good. Darius Acuff is going to be a star, and I think his game is more of because I was listening to some earlier, and it was he has that Kyrie touch of left hand, right hand, can finish on both sides, both ways, up and unders, acrobatic finishes all around the rim, and I think he's a good shooter too, a great shooter. 44% from 3. That's impressive at the college level. Again, the SEC. That's a great conference you're playing in. And again, it's a Calipari guard we're talking about, a Calipari guard. Why do we overlook them every single year? It's a Calipari. He doesn't miss. The man does not miss. Who has he produced that hasn't been good in the league? There's a few names, yeah, whatever, but not a lot. And there's not a lot. The majority definitely is over the minority of them. I'll tell you that much. And Acuff's going to be very good. Very, very good. And a great pick. I'm excited. I can't wait. I think I might order a Acuff jersey. He's amazing. He's going to be a star. I jumped up. There's a reaction video my girlfriend got, but we're not going to post it anywhere. I'm not. I was excited. I couldn't wait. This is who we wanted. This is who he wants to be. He wants to be here in Sacramento, and that's exciting. There's, again, not a lot of players want to be here. His dad was coached by our GM, Scott Perry, and that's huge. Players who want to be here stay longer. It's proven. They have better track records of staying and being here long term. And I don't think Acuff's going to be a 1 on the team. Maybe a 1A if someone else is there with him. But he can be that one if it comes down to it. He wants the ball. He wants to shoot. He wants to score. That's just the defense. I hear it. Yeah, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. But like Coach Calipari said, he was so good on offense that it didn't matter about his defense. And it's whatever, defense wins championships, blah, 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 blah. Jalen Brunson's not going to stop for you if it mattered. I'm telling you that much. He's not. He has that Brunson in him. He'll get that point for you, though. He'll get those points for you when it matters the most. And I think we saw that in the playoffs this year when Jalen Brunson just willed this team to a championship. So stop overlooking these small guards and stop overlooking Coach Calipari's guards. They don't miss. He does not miss. But we'll get on to a few of our winners from this draft class. I think the Thunder, again, seriously, how do we let Thunder get Adai Mara? How does someone allow that to happen? How do they get Adai Mara? The man who was just 7'3", at Michigan, one of the most dominant players in the country this year. The most dominant. Like, seriously, how do they always do this? Presti, hats off to you. You did a great job this draft. Bennett Sturts, they got him in a trade with Memphis. Good players. I think more of a Bennett Sturts replaces an Isaiah Joe. That's another gun guard, though. And I think he's better right now than Nikola Topic, that is injured right now. Not injured, but was battling something I'm not fully aware of, but he was battling something like a disease, I think it was. Prayers up to him, but not a knock to his off the court stuff. But Sturts is more polished coming out of college, coming into this draft, and I think that's a great pickup. The Thunder get richer, like the rich get richer. It's the same thing with the Rams. They always do it. And Preston, I don't know how people allowed Adai Mara to fall to the Thunder. Like, seriously, it doesn't even make sense. How do we allow that? Like, as a league, how do you allow that to happen? The rich get richer. The Warriors, the Axel at number 11, and his story is just amazing, guys. I saw some things this year about him having bad grades in high school. Yeah, whatever. Okay, he got through that. Went to JUCO. That's amazing. This story is just amazing. Went to UAB for a few years. Came out, goes to Michigan. Number 11 pick, wins the national championship. His story brought me a little tears a little bit. It was just amazing how he's willed through this. And he's like, my mom's my rock. She's been there through everything. She's always put this belief in me. And he gets up there and goes, I don't deserve this. You absolutely do deserve this. You are a great player. I'm really excited for you. I'm rooting for you no matter what. That's just a great pickup. And number 8, the Hawks did select Kingston Flemings out of Houston. I love that pick for them. They needed more of a playmaker, a point guard. McCollum's not a point guard. Good scorer, but he's not a point guard. He's not. And I think they needed that in the playoffs. They lacked that a little bit. He's going to bring more of a calmness to that team. I'm excited for Fleming. He's going to be a good player, too. More of a De'Aaron Fox light, I will say, to the people who make these comps. More of a De'Aaron Fox light, I'll say. Can get to his spots, quick, athletic, sneaky bounce. I like that pick. I think they're a winner from this draft. I think that the Spurs, again, pull off another masterclass. Jaden Quaintance falling that far. Yes, injury concerns. Tore his ACL. If he gets healthy, though, we remember what he did at Arizona State a couple years ago at 17. Defensive monster. They do this every time. The Spurs just get better. Good teams get better, and that's kind of what makes this league great, honestly. It's great to see. I'm excited for the Spurs. I'm excited for the Bulls, the Jazz, all of these teams. The good teams got better, and I think the bad teams didn't overthink it this year. Bill Simmons was talking about earlier. He was, you expect a couple years ago the Kings to pick a Nate Emmett at number 7, and then you were like, what are you doing? But not this year. The teams didn't overthink it, and I love that. And I think there's a lot of youth, a lot of talent in this league, and it's going to keep getting better. This is the best the league's ever been. I don't think there's going to be a drop in quality, and I think the ratings. Yeah, people talk about the ratings. Nobody wants to watch the regular season. Who cares? The teams, it gets better. If you actually watch this every day and watch the player and the growth, if you look at it from a different point of view, you can see the growth the NBA is having. But that's enough for the NBA today. We are going to be covering now the MLB, the Dodgers. Everyone's villain, not mine though. I love them. It's my team, man. The Dodgers are amazing. I love that team. Ohtani, not enough can be said. That's the GOAT. The GOAT, best of all time. There's nobody better. Seriously. The ERA is down to 1. How do you just do this every year? Continues to amaze. But there was a mix-up yesterday, or 2 days ago when you guys will hear this. I don't know which day I'm releasing on, to be honest. Ohtani and the second-year rookie, maybe it was second year or rookie, I don't know. You could say he's rookie, but he was up there last year. So second year. Yeah, Dalton Rushing, catcher, who's filling in for Will Smith right now, who's on the IL. Got into a little mix-up. Ohtani was trying to challenge a pitch, and Dalton Rushing was like, no. And again, you don't question players this young into your career, who are veterans, who are this caliber of player as Ohtani is. The greatest of all time we're talking about. You say, yes, sir. You don't, I'm going to argue this. all I'm saying is you don't know better than the guy who's been pitching for his whole life. Like, seriously. And I get that's always fiery, he's hyped up. I think it's more of it's brewing in the locker room a little bit. It's brewing a little bit. He's making too much of a scene, like, all the time. Like, he's always complaining about something, always doing something. Great talent. I think he's going to be a really good player. I like Dalton Rushing a lot, but the on the field, the off the field, the rumors of some of the players in the clubhouse not getting along with him, I think it's real. Like, I saw, who was it? Kike and another player on the Dodgers talking about, or Enrique, I apologize, or Enrique Hernandez, talking about, like, who would you, like, not want to sit with or whatever it was. And they're like, oh, Rushing. He goes, I'm sorry, but Rushing. Yeah, obviously. I think there's a little bit more to that. I really do. But basically what happened was Ohtani was like, no, he wanted to take the reins. He wanted to call pitches. He picks pitches. It's Ohtani. And the ball, it was a strike if the challenge would have went through. But Dalton said no, blah, blah. And then they come up to the mound. Dalton rushes to the mound. He's like, hey, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And again, why are you questioning Ohtani? That's just not something I would recommend, honestly. That's just, I get it, these are all professional athletes. I'm not, I understand the level of competitiveness that it's at, but why? You're not in that position to question him yet. You're only a few years into this league. Give it time, brother. Like, give it some time. Let yourself grow a little bit before you're like, oh, yeah. You can't call the shots now. You can't. And if I'm being honest, when Will Smith's out there, you're not playing catcher. You're not. You're DHing. You're somewhere else, first base maybe. I don't know what they're going to put him at, but, like, you're not the everyday starter. You're not with them every day. Like, you're with them, but, like, you're not the everyday starter. You're not out there every day. But that is going to be a wrap on our episode 4 of the Just Work Sports Radio. I thank you for everyone tuning in. Have a good day.